What's good, Ja? You already know what it is, baby. This is T Paris, aka the Young Marvin Gaye. This rap shit. Most original, most creative, most in tune with the times, and I'm sort of like your inspiration. And this is P's Perspective. But let's not waste no time. Let's get right into it. Now, our first order of business, I'm going to ask that you please hit that like button. I'm also ask that you please hit the subscribe. And as always, we're going to ask that you please keep the comments coming. We greatly appreciate those. Now, for all of our consistent supporters, you know last week I had on that TP drip, man. P's Perspective. I said I want to say thank you to our supporters for that. But this week I got on one of those Lori Love pleasures. You know, as a black entrepreneur myself, I think it's important that we show love to all these other black entrepreneurs out there doing their thing. So shout out to Lori Love's Pleasure, man. We appreciate the hat, man. If y'all want y'all hat, y'all reach out to Lori on Facebook, man. Lori Simmons, Toast to the Town. Now this week our topic of conversation is cheaters or cheating, however you feel comfortable expressing that. Now before we even get into that, I know y'all wondering how the hell did we get here? Well, last week our topic of discussion was black love. And we kind of got into whether the black man loved the black woman and do the black woman love the black man. I think when we ended off, we said it's not so much that we don't love each other, but just feel like we don't take the time to comprehend each other's expression. And so, you know me, I like to, keep everything right in the spirit. I like the energy to stay the same. And so moving right along, I just wanted to add on that, part of the disconnect come from the pain that we've endured. We always say hurt people hurt other people. And it's unfortunate, but cheating has become a very, very prevalent part of the black relationship, man. Now, before we just jump right in and be like men cheat, women cheat and all that, we all cheat, right? Everybody done cheated for different reasons. And I think that's where the most important part of this whole dialogue is at, is people's reasons for going about doing what they doing. Now, it's just my opinion, you know what I'm saying? Oftentimes we hear women talk about it, and the argument is that women are better cheaters than men. Now, I personally don't even subscribe to that ideology, man. I don't know about men being better cheaters. I don't know about women being better cheaters. It's just my opinion that cheating is a mindset. And I think the cheater is the best cheater. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I think we just want to, get into some facts. Historically, women have been more stable than men, right? Women are able to go out there, they get their jobs, they find their house or their home. You know what I'm saying? They got long leading careers. And men, oftentimes we struggle to get these things because oftentimes our maturity level, take a little bit longer to arise, so to speak. And so oftentimes with women, you see the sex is based upon love. This woman is painted this picture of how she want her family and her life to be. And she go out there and seek that man, and that man come out to her. She got all her ducks in order. She ready to love that man. Whereas with men, a lot of times we looking for things. You know what I'm saying? We still struggling to get there. And so sometimes that sexual opportunity is more of a conquest. It's more of what I'm going to get if I do the damn thing, so to speak, right? So I think let's look at some of the reasons, right? So, well, before we even look into the reasons as to why people cheat, let's say this. I think people cheat for different reasons, right? Some of the reasons that people cheat, I think most noticeable is, the lack of something is missing, right? When something is missing, people oftentimes go to try to find that in other places. Now, for women, often looking for an emotional connection, right? Women to cheat to get back at somebody, some form of revenge. But women also cheat to get over a man. You've been in a long relationship with somebody and he's still on your mind and still in your heart. Sometimes women go out there and they find another man to lay up with in order to get over that, that ex or that past, relationship. Now, on the other hand, when you talk about men, I feel like men cheat for validation and, to feed the ego. They want to feel good about themselves, Oftentimes it's just about the physical connection. It's like you hit it and that's it. If you want to link up again for that, I'm there for that. But anything that, ties us into being emotionally connected, a lot of times men, you know, they don't stick around for that. And another thing that I think men, you know, find themselves cheating for is stability. Like I mentioned before, a lot of times men don't got their things in order. So a man might need a place to stay, or he might need a, you know what I'm saying, a meal at the end of the night. He need a couple dollars. So he go out there and find that woman, and he feel like he really put that, you know what I'm saying, that legwork down. She gonna be there, she gonna be supportive, and she gonna be able to provide for him, right? So now that we got the reasons, or, you know what I'm saying, the whys out the way, I wanted to, you know what I'm saying, focus on the way cheating has been perceived, you know, by us, both men and women. And I got two examples, you know what I'm saying? The first example I want to use is Chris Brown. Now, Chris Brown and Rihanna was a beautiful couple, you know, young, fiery, in love, very talented, you know, has so much to offer to the entertainment world. Unfortunately, you know, I think because of their age and just, you know, the amount of money and amount of press and, you know, amount of attention they getting, it makes it very challenging to have a stable relationship. Now, according to Chris Brown, you know, he had sex with somebody in his past. When he sat down and spoke with Rihanna about it, he denied it, you know. He said he had no dealings with this lady. Now, on the night in question, you know, they had allegedly, you know, went to a music award, you know, and while they was there, you know, the topic of conversation came up. The lady happened to be there, and that made Rihanna kind of feel like it was something more going on than just, you know, quote unquote friendship. Chris Brown expresses that after he, you know, admitted that he had some type of relations with the lady, the relationship became, you know, kind of touchy because she felt like she couldn't trust him. So then when this award show came up and the young lady was there, it made her feel a little bit uncomfortable. So some alcohol was involved, you know, and alcohol, you know, we oftentimes lose, you know what I'm saying, our better judgment. And so they was in the car, they arguing, going back and forth, discussing what's going on. And, you know, the phone got a text and it kind of sent her in rage or uproar, you know. So they went on back and forth with each other. It got physical. Unfortunately, you know, domestic violence, you know, took place. But I mention this because from that day on, you know, so many people canceled Chris Brown. It was like they just couldn't understand, you know, young adults being in domestic violence, you know, situations. Now, I want to point out, you know, in no way, shape, or form do I condone, you know, domestic violence. I feel like, you know, domestic violence is something that is, I want to say, is very traumatic. And I think it oftentimes stems from, you know, the lack of self-control, you know, that we have, you know, growing up. And in this situation here, you know, Chris Brown lost a lot of money, lost a lot of attention, he lost a lot of support. And Rihanna, on the other hand, you know, a lot of people came to aid and supported her, and, you know, rightfully so, rightfully so. However, in this other situation that I'm going to mention, I don't think we dealt with it the same way. In this other situation I want to bring to light is Lisa Left Eye Lopez and Andre Rison. Now, little backstory, and this is all alleged, you know, because I wasn't there, but allegedly, you know, Lisa and Tupac, you know, was real good friends, you know, for a little bit of time. And Andre Rison and Tupac also happened to be real good friends, but nobody really knew that they all knew each other. So, as Tupac and Lisa Lopez was getting close with each other, you know, they had a little falling out because Tupac felt that she had some relations with one of his close friends. So he fell back on her. Then one night at this party, you know, she met Andre Rison. And she, you know, started dating him and fell hard for him. Now, Andre Rison and Tupac was also cool. They were so cool that he had actually built a recording studio in Atlanta and allowed Tupac to record there. Now, somewhere along this, you know, introduction between her and Lisa Lopez, you know, he kind of got wind that maybe she was dealing with Tupac. And he started feeling uncomfortable. You know, that was like his competition, so to speak. So now we got this, you know, fiery love triangle, Tupac, Left Eye, and Andre Rison. So Tupac, you know, mega superstar, hip-hop, music and all that. Andre Rison, superstar football player. Lisa Lopez, you know, R&B superstar. So everybody got an ego, so to speak. Now, when Andre Rison, you know, found out or, you know, had a intuition or premonition about her and Tupac, it kind of, you know, made him feel some type of way. So now their relationship started getting rocky. Now, on the night in question, he had went to some party. Lisa Lopez went out as well. When she went out, you know, she had her fun and came back. She came back before him. Now, being that she came home before him, she was kind of, you know, upset. She was drinking. And when he came home, you know, argument, fight ensued. And y'all know the rest, you know what I'm saying? House burned down and all that. Now, Lisa Lopez said herself, you know, she was so in love with this man that she took a razor blade and carved, you know, the letters love and the letters hate in her arm, you know. But I ain't really see too much of an uproar about that burning the house down. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, you know, kind of, you know, stood on the domestic violence thing. And again, I'm not trying to condone domestic violence. But in one situation, you know, Chris Brown dealing with somebody. Remember, he wasn't with that girl when he had sex with her. But because he continued to communicate with her, it made Rihanna insecure about their relationship. And that led to her being physical, and they got into a domestic violence dispute. Now, in this situation, Left Eye, you know what I'm saying, was dealing with somebody, and maybe Andre Rison's insecurities, you know, kicked in, and they got into a domestic violence situation. Now, domestic violence on both situations is wrong, but I'm trying to understand why, when a man is the victim of domestic violence, you know, the house being burnt down, the cars being, you know, taken advantage of, not crashed, but, you know, broke the windows and all that. We focus on the victim, Left Eye. When Rihanna and Chris Brown went through it, you know, he was doing what he was doing, but it was prior to their relationship. And she initiated domestic violence. Again, she became the victim, you know? And so I point this out because I feel like the real reason why black men often come off like we don't care about black women is when we go through some of these situations, you know, the level of respect is oftentimes thrown out the window. It's like, because you're a black man, you wrong. Your women do some of the same things, but we don't, you know, we don't hold them accountable. I don't think either one of these situations is better than the other. But I feel like in both situations, we need to be looking at the man and the woman and placing blame on both of them. Because in neither one of these situations was anybody married. And so if we're not married, you don't really got no control over who's sleeping with who. When you marry, you signing contracts, you making a vow. You know, that's totally understandable. But before we marry, sometimes, you know, I think we put so much emphasis on that word trust. And some of us don't trust ourselves. Because if you did trust yourself without that absolute proof, you wouldn't be accusing somebody of cheating. You know, as I mentioned before, and it's just my opinion, I think cheating is a mindset, man. I think that people cheat oftentimes because something is missing in their life, you know, and it also starts from the very beginning. A young man or a young lady growing up without their parents, that's their first idea of love, true love. And so now they're going to go on through life looking for that love interest. And sometimes we fall short, but I want you to take into consideration this, man or female. If that parent is gone and you looking for love in your first, second, and third try, you fail, after a while you're going to start to feel like maybe it's you, and people start to become insecure. Sometimes in these insecure moments, what we do is we get weak, and we oftentimes will allow something that we totally against to happen, and we sweep it under the rug like it's just one isolated incident. Example, you with a young man or you with a young lady and something go wrong and they verbally attacking you or put their hands on you and grab you up. Come on, man. It only take one time to recognize that they got, you know what I'm saying, that violent streak inside of them. You know? I think sometimes with the whole cheating thing, we have to establish what we consider cheating. You know what I'm saying? Because some people feel like, you know, if I ain't have sex with them, I ain't cheat. Now, me personally, I always say, anything that you wouldn't, like to be done to you when your partner, spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, however you relate to them is not around, will be deemed cheating. And so if I'm walking down the block and I see, a young lady walking by, I'm like, what's up, beautiful? How you doing? It's lovely outside today. Be careful out there. If I had a lady and that's the way I'm treating all women as I walk past them, and she like, yo, I'm not comfortable with that. I got to then look at myself and say, how would I feel if she was seeing men walking down the block? She like, hey, handsome, how you doing? I see you got them great sweats on today. And she starts smiling. Like, I can't get mad at that if I'm giving off the same vibe, the same energy. And I think sometimes that's what it is that some of us give off a certain vibe and certain energy, and you don't expect nobody else to have that vibe either. You know what I'm saying? We got to be more disciplined in our behaviors out there, man. I think another thing that's important too is you got to understand that sometimes it's okay to say, I'm going to wait with the sex. You know what I'm saying? Because so many people say sex is not that important. If it's not that important, then why are we rushing to it? To me, that's the one thing that can incite, domestic violence right off top. And you having sex with somebody and you stop respecting them. People feel like if I lay down with you, you know what I'm saying, I made the ultimate sacrifice for you. That's something that I think that we need to think about, especially as we talk about, do men and women, respect each other? If we laying down with each other to have kids, hell yeah, we respect each other. And with respect, come love. I don't think you could love somebody, wholeheartedly if you don't take the time to learn them and learn how to respect them. I think you could respect people and not love them. And I think that you could love people and not necessarily have a whole lot of respect for them too. And I know that sounded kind of deep. But basically what I'm saying is love is so powerful that once we start to love, I don't think we turn it off and on. I feel like once you get there, you there. And so as love pertains to cheating, when you in love or you loving somebody, you got to be careful of how you treating them. You know what I'm saying? How you interact with them. How you share yourself. Even as a parent, you know what I'm saying? You telling your kids, yo, I love you. And you bringing wild different, men or women around your kids. That ain't real love. Because at the same time, you teaching that behavior to your children. So let's get back to our question. Our topic of discussion, cheating. How many of y'all feel like cheating is a real reason why a lot of time the men and the women don't connect? I could give a whole bunch of examples, you know what I'm saying? Women having kids, and then the man be like, yo, I don't know if that's my baby. And the man asks for child support. Not child support, DNA test. And a woman might say, I'm gonna give you the test, but if I give you the test after that, we finish. Why is that? You know what I'm saying? Why is that? He just want to make sure that that's his baby, And on the flip side, you know what I'm saying? A man go out there and do something with a woman, swear on his mother's grave, I never do that. I'll never do that. And if you go through my phone or you go and ask, I'm going to knock your head off. Why do we do that? You know what I'm saying? Why do we get so extreme? You know why? And this is a very, very unpopular answer. The real reason why I feel we get so extreme is because we oftentimes take ownership to things that don't belong to us. That's why people get so upset about cheating. We don't own each other. We're not property. I might be dating you, but if I decide I want to go out and have a one-night stand with somebody, that's not a reflection of you. That's a reflection of me. That don't got nothing to do with you. I know it's hard. I know it's challenging, but the best thing to do is probably just to keep it moving. Because people going to justify doing what they doing. People going to find happiness in whatever it is that they enjoy doing. And it's unfortunate, but a lot of us enjoy having sex. A lot of us enjoy having sex. And I'm going to tell you another thing that's very unpopular. It's a lot of women sitting here right now smiling because they know what I'm talking about. Everybody don't, broadcast when they going out there doing what they doing. I'm advise all of y'all, man, smarten up. Pay attention to what's going on, the energies. Pay attention to the behaviors. I don't really want to pick a side on who cheat more because, as I said, I believe it's a mindset. But I got some questions I want to ask y'all. And, I want y'all to really, really think about this. Number one, what do you deem as cheating? What do you deem to be cheating? That's question number one. Question number two, can you bounce back from cheating? And question number three, what is the biggest price that you've had to pay for cheating? I want y'all to think about these questions, man, and when y'all come back, let's have a real intense dialogue, man. I think we've been having some great discussions. I think we've been going, a little more in depth than I honestly thought we would when we first got back to season 2. And I'm proud to say, the feedback has been amazing. Real quick, I want to touch on something before we leave. Last couple weeks we've been putting these little cards up, and I meant to touch on this in the last video. The purpose of the cards was to build the engagement for the blog, right? And in doing so, I've been recognizing a lot of quote-unquote big dogs been stealing our ideas, our topic of discussion, and running with it. Some people try to tell me like, yo, don't worry about that, flattery. You know what I mean? They showing you that they see something in you that's great. I'm not really with all that, man. I know this gonna be a wild analogy, but just the way, people want to go out there and be like, Black Lives Matter, your black artists matter too. Y'all always harping on, we saying Black Lives Matter. What about black on black crime? What about black people showing support to other black people and just leaving it at that? I don't want to make a big stink about this, but I take pride in everything that I do creatively and artistically. It always comes from the bottom of my heart, man. And so I don't care so much about people taking the word and spreading the word. I'm just a vessel. I don't own this shit. But at the end of the day, please don't minimize my creativity. When you take something that I created and throw your own stamp or your own brand on it, you undermining me. I don't appreciate that, man. I'm going to leave it at that, man. It's T Paris Show. Y'all know what we do over here, man. Peace, perspective. Let me give y'all those questions again, man. Question number one, what do you deem as cheating? Question two, can you bounce back from cheating? And question three, what is the biggest price you had to pay for cheating? It's T Paris, man. Peace, perspective. Appreciate y'all. Toast to the town. Peace.